So here's the thing. Maybe you're like me and over the years you've collected all kinds of hard drives just trying to keep up with all your storage needs. Or maybe you have something like this really ancient Drobo that's so slow it just doesn't make sense to use anymore. I mean, it literally took me 4 days to offload the 3 terabytes of information off of it onto an external hard drive. But then you still have all these spare hard drives just lying around, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with these hard drives. Like, yeah, it's a few years old, but it still works. So what do you do with them all? Well, there are a few things you could do. You could just get a little dock and plug them in and store random files off your computer, but then there's no redundancy. If you have an old PC around, you could build yourself a RAID server or build one from scratch for that matter. But what if you just want a NAS that's more, I don't know, plug and play? Well, that's where Synology comes into play. So Synology's been making network-attached storage for a long time, and I've actually used their products myself for a couple years now, and I've got to say I'm pretty impressed with them. For instance, not only is this redundant storage, but it's really just a small Celeron-powered PC that runs its own apps, which allows you to do all kinds of things like run virtual machines, host your own cloud storage for your PC, Mac, or phone, use it as a home media server using Plex, host your own website. There's just an insane number of things you can do with it. So with the help of Synology, who loaned me this particular model, I'm going to show you how versatile these things are, especially if your goal is to do what I'm doing today, which is to repurpose your old hard drives. And this is a great place to clarify that all the hard drives that I'm using today are NAS hard drives. So these are hard drives that are on the compatibility list on Synology's website. If you're wanting to repurpose hard drives that are desktop class hard drives, then we're gonna have to come up with a different solution for that. But hey, if that's what you're looking for, this is a good opportunity to hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any of my future videos, because I'm going to be talking about that very, very soon. So this particular model is the DS920 Plus. So here is the unit. You have 4 hard drive bays in the front. You have USB on the front and on the back. That is just in case you want to plug in a hard drive, directly transfer files. You have your DC power, eSATA, and 2 1 gigabit Ethernet connections and dual cooling fans. Also, on the bottom here, there are 2 slots for M.2 SSDs if you want to use those as cache. So how do you install drives in this thing? Well, it's super simple. So these trays just pop out like so. It's totally toolless. You can use screws if you want a little bit more security with the drives. Hard drives just pop in like so and slide into place. Boom. Now the disk station ships with a pair of Ethernet cables, and generally what you're going to want to do is plug it directly into your wireless router so you can access it across your network. Alternatively, you can plug it directly into a computer with an Ethernet port and use it that way, which is what I'm going to do now. Once you have the disk station plugged in and powered up, go to Synology's website, go to Support, Download Center, look up the model of your disk station, go to Desktop Utilities, and download the Synology Assistant. The Synology Assistant is going to scan for your drive and initiate setup. Now there's tons of coverage on how to set up your disk station online, so I'm not going to cover that here, but I will link to a how-to in the description below. Suffice to say, once you have it all set up, you can create shared folders on your disk station, which you can manage either through the operating system through your browser, or you can map the drives to your computer and use it more like a traditional hard drive, which is great for content creators like me because now you have expandable, redundant storage that you can keep all of your projects and footage on instead of having it scattered across multiple external hard drives, and even edit your projects. Well, sort of. See, one of the downsides of this particular model is the 1 gigabit Ethernet, so if you're just editing HD footage without a lot of effects, you can definitely get by, but if you're planning on using some of Synology's backup features, collaborators, or going to be remoting in and say you're editing high bitrate 4K footage, you're probably going to want to upgrade to the DS920 Plus, which is complete with 10 gigabit Ethernet, has an AMD Ryzen 4-core 2.2 gigahertz processor, 4 gigs of RAM, expandable to 32, and is just an all-around powerful machine, perfect for those kinds of workloads. So what about volume expansion? Well, you can simply turn off the disk station, replace one of the drives with a bigger one, go into Disk Manager, and then repair the storage pool. It's that easy. Now let's say you max out the storage capacity of the disk station. Then you can either purchase a larger disk station or just get the expansion unit. With the DS920 Plus, you can expand up to 9 drives with the DX517 expansion unit, which takes you from 64 terabytes of raw storage to 144 terabytes. Not bad. Now, while this is redundant backup, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the 3-2-1 rule. The rule basically states that your data should be in at least 3 places at once. You should keep those copies on 2 different media, and 1 copy should be off-site. Why would you want to do that? Well, let's say that you have your data on a laptop and redundantly backed up on a Synology, but they're both at home. If there's a fire, then it's going to burn up all of your data, and this isn't going to matter in the slightest. So the idea is to have another one of these units either at your office or at a friend's house or family's house, and then you link them through the software, and the data from this unit will be backed up to the second unit over the internet. Now that might sound kind of expensive when you think about buying 2 of these units and all the hard drives, but when you add up the cost of cloud storage services to do the same thing, this actually makes a lot of sense. But that's all I have for you today, guys. Thanks for watching. Definitely check out Synology. I highly recommend their storage solutions. I'll drop a link in the description below where you can find the different units. And anytime you use one of my affiliate links, you help support the channel. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful in any way, shape, or form, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions about this unit or Synology in general, be sure to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.